Hi folks, this is a video about one of the largest rock and roll collections in North America. Over 10,000 different rock and roll items. And the question is, what do you do when you have over 10,000 rock and roll items that you've collected for over 40 years? Well, we're going to show you some of these items, and we're going to show you where they came from. Posters, tickets, passes, t-shirts, programs, specialty items, buttons, and all that. And then we're going to tell you how we evaluated them and where we went to sell these 10,000 items, and some ideas of what they're worth, and some classic posters and t-shirts. So the first part, we're just going to show you a few posters of value or of good collections. And this is ELO blacklight poster that lights up at night and has kind of a velvet color screen. Now this is a large poster of Michael Jackson's last tour with his brothers, and it's a rare one. A rare Tom Petty poster that the Tom Petty fan club members got of Tom Petty playing in his studio before his 2010 tour. And these are two good posters of Van Halen and Van Morrison because of their graphics. Posters sell when they have good color and graphics. So now we're going to go up to another level to show you some more classic rock and roll posters. So this Mariposa poster is the most sought after poster in the folk world because it has the largest collection of bands that Mariposa ever had at Molson's Park. They had Ricky Skaggs, Arlo Guthrie, Bonnie Raitt, Donovan, Marie Muldaur, and multiple more there. Taj Mahal, Arlo Guthrie, so that was a famous Mariposa shot. So this is a Jethro Tull poster made up for the album that Jethro Tull put out in the 70s. And then over here we'll go to the Pink Floyd The Wall poster. This is the beginning of the rare Pink Floyd The Wall that only played in 3 places: Nassau Coliseum in New York and LA and London. It's a very limited poster. 2006 and 7 Who Tour poster, and a couple of typical Pink Floyd The Wall poster with Roger Waters. This is a rare Pink Floyd poster because it was never sold as a poster. It was just an outlet selling the second show of Pink Floyd at Exhibition Stadium, which was one of the best shows that Pink Floyd ever did in Toronto. This is a good poster of Coldplay because it looks like the Sky Dome. And they played the Sky Dome several times, so a lot of people like that Coldplay poster because it reminds them of them playing in the Sky Dome. And over here is the big Sky Dome show of U2. With the big octopus one, and my favorite Tom Petty poster because it looks like a wanted poster. And up here is a poster that Rush played in Chicago with the Beach Boys, and if you're a Rush fan, that is a rare poster to have. Also, sometimes you find some rare radio station memorabilia posters. This is radio station 99.9 in Toronto that made a really good Beatles poster with the Maple Leaf Gardens tickets, the lunchbox, the yellow submarine, and the bobbleheads. This is a famous 1986 C&E poster in the heydays of the C&E. In the background you can see the old wooden roller coasters, and that's the big days when they had all the stars like Elton John, Van Halen, Huey Lewis, Whitney Houston, Stevie Nicks, Psychedelic Furs all show up there for big stadium concerts. That's a rare Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck poster, and they rarely toured together. This is only 5 dates or 6 dates that Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck did around the world. This is a rare Kingswood Music Theater poster in the heydays of Kingswood in the 80s when they did a variety of concerts. That's not more. Up there is a classic Jimmy Buffett parrot poster. If you know about Jimmy Buffett and the parrot hats, you'll like that poster. And Santana, he makes some of the best posters, having spiritual artists make his drawings. And over there in 83 is the Apple Us Festival concert poster with one of the largest collections of bands to play: Bowie, U2, and etc. So this is the 1983 Apple concert poster called the US Festival, and Apple paid $17 million back in the heyday, which would be like 30 million now. And they had the best of the bands there. They had Bowie, The Clash, Men at Work, Van Halen, Triumph, Ozzy Osbourne, Joe Walsh, John Cougar, and it was 400,000 people approximately. Bowie was the only show Bowie did in North America that year because he was in Europe. And all the big boys were stopping Bowie, stopping us Festival from getting any more big acts. So he hired a cargo plane to grab all of Bowie's stage equipment in Europe, fly it to LA. The gear comes at 2 in the morning, gets set up because they have to set up before the other acts come. I'm there going like, you know, the show's over around midnight, right? And I'm looking there cleaning up, and all of a sudden I'm seeing like 8 transports come. I'm like, what's coming in? And then I realize it's Bowie's gear because they have to pre-set it up because he's the last show, right? And so they're setting it up, and then at 2:30 I'm on the stage looking at all the funky gear, and Bowie comes up beside me. He says, okay, boys, let's practice, because he wanted to see how it did. So between 2:30 and 3 in the morning, I'm watching Bowie play out in the middle of the desert in California. This is one of the best concerts that ever happened, probably in the world. It was in 1990 at Nebworth. Nebworth is their Woodstock Park, where every year they had a concert for 100,000 people. This concert was to raise money for Music to Heal Children. And all the bands came, and they were allowed to play an hour each, and the bigger bands were allowed to play 2 hours, which meant Paul McCartney, Genesis, Elton John, and Pink Floyd played for 2 hours. So it was an awesome show. Started at 10 in the morning and went till 2 at night. An original United Artists Yellow Submarine poster from when the movie Yellow Submarine came out, and an original Last Waltz movie poster. But the good one over here is Fleetwood Mac during the heydays of 1978, July 4th, seeing Fleetwood Mac in their heyday at Exhibition Stadium. This is a very good Santana poster, where Santana, as usual, paid for a good artist to make the Universal Tone poster for his tour. So now we're going to go upstairs and show you some of my other really classic rock posters over the years that I've collected. As we head upstairs, you'll see the Hippie Fest poster, which was really a colorful poster with a lot of good classic rock bands. And then as we head upstairs here, at the top, you'll see a couple of other classic rock posters of Rush and Journey. But this one up here at the top is Billy Joel and Elton John. Now, the reason this is a good, valuable poster of 2009 is these two artists will never play together again, because Elton John complained about Billy drinking too much, and Billy told him to hit the road. So we'll head into this other room, and I'll show you 2 of my classic Aerosmith U2 posters that I like, and a special one that Prince did. As you can see, this is a 2002 Aerosmith poster, classic summer girl party beach poster, and it was an awesome tour by Aerosmith. And over here, the Rainbow Children was a special jazz poster by a famous artist that Prince paid to have done on his tour. This is the 1997 U2 Pop Mart tour, and this was the start of U2's mega tours and mega stages. So in poster collections, this was a Wembley Stadium concert with the Captain Fantastic tour, where Elton John, the Beach Boys, Eagle, and Joe Walsh played. The good part about this concert is after the Eagles and Joe Walsh played with the Eagles, and the next day they announced that Joe Walsh was joining the Eagles as an official band member. This is the famous Pink Floyd concert at Olympic Stadium. It was so famous in the Pink Floyd book here that they reproduced the poster. As you can see, the poster is a different pink and smaller. So this is the original one taken off Olympic Stadium wall. There's the famous Heat Wave poster designed by a friend of mine, and it was about 100,000 people at Mostport. The interesting thing about this Heat Wave poster is the Clash never appeared, and Teenage Head was a band that came and played there because they were big in the heydays then. This is a rare Emerson, Lake and Palmer poster from Exhibition Stadium, about 80,000 people. Emerson, Lake and Palmer played quad at that stadium concert and had the famous drum risers go up and down. So this Great Western Express poster was a concert in Northern England. It was a 4-day Woodstock concert, and the lineup was incredible. The bands that played there, I'll just name you a couple of them: Buddy Miles, Roxy Music, Helen Reddy, the Strawbs, Rod Stewart and the Faces, the Beach Boys, Mighty Python, Spencer Davis, Atomic Rooster, Genesis, Don McLean with his famous hit at that time, Sha Na Na, and Joe Cocker closed the show because he was big in those 1972 years. So these three posters that you see here are some of the shows I helped produce or site coordinate. Sunny Days was in 1977. It's a rare poster because it has Max Webster on it, and you don't see Max Webster on many show posters. The Canada Jam poster was 100,000 people at Mostport. The interesting thing about that, the same day the Doobie Brothers were playing in Atlanta. So we flew them in to play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and after they played, we put them on a plane right away and sent them back to Atlanta to play. And this was a classic rock or classic country show with Waylon Jennings, Charlie Pride, Kathy Mattea, Buck Owens, Carl Perkins, and Ricky Skaggs at Carlisle, just outside of Hamilton. So this is the last Simon and Garfunkel show in 2003 where they played together. So this is Pink Floyd playing at Knebworth Park. It's Woodstock's park in England that they have just outside of London. So this Knebworth concert happened a week after Pink Floyd played in Hamilton, Ontario. And after that, Pink Floyd went back to England and played the Knebworth Park of 100,000 people with Steve Miller Band. And the whole Mighty Python circus came there. And between sets, changes of the bands, Mighty Python would do jokes and videos and comedy shows. So this is the Tragically Hip poster at Carlisle. This show that they played at Carlisle inspired the Tragically Hip to do their road shows across Canada for the next several years, from fairground to fairground right across Canada, because they loved the camping arts and crafts festival that happened. So this made the Hip big, and then after that the Hip did their road show. This is my best Guess Who poster, because they finally got back together again with all the original guys to play, as you can see, with their names, and then around the posters all their hit songs. So that's what made it a good poster, the original band with their names on it and their hit songs. That was the US Festival with Apple, which had one of the largest collections of bands playing because Apple spent $17 million. So these are two unusual posters of Live Aid and the classic Hall of Fame concert. And the reason they're unusual is because I made them up, because no one made posters for these concerts. And the lineup was incredible. Most people know the lineup of Live Aid, but they don't know the lineup of the classic Royal Hall of Fame concert. And I'll just list you the bands that played there, just some of them: Allman Brothers, Chuck Berry, Bon Jovi, Booker T and the MGs, James Brown, Johnny Cash, Al Green, the Kinks, Annie Lennox, John Mellencamp, Robbie Robertson, and Bruce Springsteen, and the Kinks. So there's another incredible event that I was at, Live Aid. I was there for the dress rehearsal the night before, which most of these bands played, and then that day for the show. And there was no poster, so I took the program and the flyer and made a poster out of it, because the list of bands there was also incredible. Separate from the posters you see on the walls, I have several hundred other show posters from all the other shows that I went to over the years. Actually, there's probably another 400 show posters that you separate from what you've seen on the wall, and I'm taking them to Glory Days to be evaluated. And here's another good poster, like you see, Supertramp, Breakfast in America tour at the C&E. These ones are always worth something because the C&E doesn't have any more rare shows like that. I have a lot of other show posters that have artist autographs. This is like Huey Lewis in the News. I have autographs from Heart, Supertramp, Beach Boys, Paul McCartney, that are separate in my collections, and I've sent them to be evaluated at Glory Days. So another chapter from posters is programs, and we have hundreds and hundreds of programs, old ones, new ones, ELO, Steely Dan. We have complete collections of all the Who posters that toured and played, because I have all the tickets and passes through the whole programs, right, as you can see over the years. And I have the same with Moody Blues, Pink Floyd, U2.
Pink Floyd in?
And then this is a special one about how Pink Floyd made The Wall in the movie. It was rarely sold at it. This is an autograph book of the Rascals and the history of the Beach Boys. And then other show programs that I have, which will show you that are on the internet, of which were the best programs and which were the worst programs.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. We're going to go through a history of program books and which ones were good and extra on. This was U2's VIP program book that they gave out where in 2015, and they did their guitar picks, part of their drum patch, part of the stage that was on stage, and then they gave you a whole bunch of passes and tours and stuff that U2 did. So it was one of the better programs, but it was only to the VIP fan club members that got these program books, so there was a limited edition to this. So in this corner here is some of where I store a lot of my show posters that I've had over the years, where I've worked with them and kept them. But one thing interesting about these show posters, because I've kept them for a while, if you look, this is the Willie Nelson show. The concert ticket is 25 bucks to see Willie Nelson. This classic country show, the tickets are 25 bucks. Even this last Stone show was fairly cheap, sponsored though by the government. But it shows you how much concert tickets have changed. This is Todd Rundgren and Parachute Club, $10 and $12 on Toronto Island. You don't see those type of concert tickets anymore. So here's another part of my rock and roll collections, which is keychains and metal buttons in the rock and roll collection. So some of the good metal buttons is, these are the bobblehead pins from Rush. Cool. And the other good metal buttons are Santana, this one and this one on Santana, and then the Allman Brothers with a mushroom, which was famous for the Allman Brothers. And then some of the other ones are, you know, Guns N' Roses, Leonard Skinner, Madonna. So one of the other things that a lot of bands give out on tours is keychains. This is one of my favorite ones with Genesis on the keychain. And there are two sets of keychains. One is the plastic ones with pictures of the bands, and the other ones are the metal keychains that have metal engravings and symbols of the bands marked on them. This is Billy Joel, Madonna, Journey. Let's leave it like that, I guess. Beach Boys is a cool keychain with a surfboard. And this is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with the guitar and heart in it. The ZZ Top one. This is the U2 tour. And the big ELO spaceship keychain. And over here is a Silver Bullet band, Bob Seger. And then let's go over here. Some of the other interesting things in collections is bottle openers. There's Yes, Doobie Brothers, Boston, Moody Blues, Steve Miller, and these three are Santana. So a lot of the touring bands gave out or sold bottle openers. And of course this one with the Pinwin is Fleetwood Mac. And these are kind of light up buttons that have batteries underneath them, and they light up, as you can see underneath here. You put a little battery in and you put them on your shirt and they light and flash. Now other good buttons is Ringo Starr buttons that they gave, or pendants. And this is one of my favorite band memorabilia. It's a ZZ Top corn, created in 1969, and drawing of the band. So another common rock and roll collection is to have lots of different rock and roll buttons from bands, which are generally showed at most tours. So we have some very old rock and roll show buttons here, and some recent rock and roll buttons for collectors. So in this button collections, the ones that really have value is the Wings tour of London band, and then the Wings American tour, and the George Harrison button, because George Harrison only did one tour, and that was sold at the Maple Leaf Gardens. Other rare buttons are the old Beatles pictures or the Monkeys, such as these monkey ones or these pins of the Monkeys. In the button collections, the Wings button and Wings Over America and the George Harrison button, both tour festival buttons, are rare and hard to find because those were in the 70s. Then some of the old Beatle pictures buttons are rare, plus the Monkeys buttons are rare of value. A couple other buttons of value is the Hermit's Fan Club button, a Grateful Dead button, and this Who by Numbers button. So these are just some of the general show buttons that they sell at concerts, but you should note most of these square buttons are not sold at concerts. They're either sold at memorabilia stores or other stores. Usually the round ones are concert show buttons. So one of the good buttons in this collection is Chum doing the Who button for the December Christmas final concert at the Who with Maple Leaf Gardens, which we know never was a final concert. So this is just an idea to give you how buttons are sold at concerts in groups. As you see, Aerosmith, Ringo Starr, Madonna, Katy Perry, Green Day. So that's how a lot of the concert buttons are sold at concerts nowadays, in groups of 4. So this is my favorite button collection in the pins because it's Wings Over America button collection, and I'm a Beatle fan from way back. So one of the other good things in rock and roll collections with bands is stickers that they sell at the shows of all kinds. So here's a variety of some stickers here and some show stickers here, and I'll show you who makes usually the best show stickers. Some of the good bumper stickers that are put out, as you see this corner's bumper stickers, is Oasis and the Allman Brothers with pictures of the mushrooms. And then further up is the Jimmy Buffett Land Shark sticker, because it's for the Land Shark fan club. And a common bumper is, as you can see, 3 different Neil Diamond bumper stickers, because I guess the Neil Diamond fans like buying the bumper stickers, but that's a rarity to see that many bumper stickers for all the shows. So some of the most colorful stickers are Katy Perry, as you can see there. And as you know, most Stone stickers are basically the common Stones ones with the tongue. They don't do much of anything else, but always have those type of stickers. So these are some of my better concert stickers because they have better flavor and color and design. As you can see, a train here with Van Halen, the colorful Santana, the Joker, the Allman Brothers band with the peach, and then, you know, the Hippie Fest. Rush always made good stickers for their design too. So these are the 2 favorite stickers, the Rush sticker with clocks and the Allman Brothers with the peach tree. Hey Glenn,
Wolf, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I brought you a whole bunch of more rock and roll stuff to show you. And as I told you before, when you have over 10,000 rock and roll items, this is the place, Glory Day Collectibles, that you bring your stuff to find out what it's worth, whether it's passes, tickets, t-shirts, programs, posters, and other rock and roll memorabilia. Glenn's group, they analyze it, they tell you whether it's a real autograph, a fake autograph, a good poster, a good program, or whether they're copies.
If I'll get lucky, I'll find a joint in this pocket. No, nothing. Too bad. It's always good. You never know when you find drugs from one of the roadies.